Hey sis, welcome back. I hope and pray you're doing well. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Christina Ciara, and I help sisters confidently walk in their God-given purpose. So today, again, I'm switching up the way that I'm showing up simply because I want to ensure that I'm able to do this in a natural, authentic way without the barriers of me overthinking, which is actually today's topic. So as I told y'all, like 2025 is a year where I'm going to just really be reigniting my fire, getting it really big and bold, and really allowing the Father to just use me in this season in a way that I've never been used before. And I know that this year, this season, is going to require me to be more vulnerable. It's going to require me to just share more of my testimony, require me to be obedient in the things that the Father is downloading and depositing into me. Because again, I know that what I've experienced, what I've gone through, other sisters are going to be able to learn, from my testimony. So what I've started to do this year was really guard, shield, and protect my evenings, my sleep, and my mornings. Um, Regardless of what's happening throughout the day, there's certain things I don't want to go to bed on my mind or on my spirit. And while I'm sleeping, I want to ensure that I'm getting enough sleep. And also while I'm waking up, I want to ensure that I'm stepping into my power, my authority. I have received everything that I needed to receive. I'm filling up my cup even before, I step out of my bedroom, right? So, in the midst of me doing that, though, there's a lot of reflection. There's a lot of like me, asking God some serious questions. There's a lot of journaling. But something that hit me this morning, and I knew I needed to share with you all was my overthinking and over analyzing. And what God told me, because here recently, especially like last year, I'm constantly being told that I overthink. I overthink and I overanalyze. I heard that so much last year. And I do. Like, I know that I spend a lot of time in my mind. And what the Father was revealing to me was that this is trauma based. A lot of that was me trying to escape the reality, of like my present or my environment is not really safe to just kind of be. So I would have to like escape in my mind. There was just a lot of trauma based of like me trying to prevent certain things. So me kind of like rethinking of what I could have done better, of like of just anticipating different things. But this morning, God really ministered to me, and He told me that although I'm really big on renewing the mind, like allowing the Father to renew our minds, everything is mindset. He revealed to me that my mind is wounded, that my mind is not in its original state. And when He said that, like I felt it, like it just made sense to my spirit. I completely agreed and was like, yes, that's completely true. And so I knew that this was something that the Father was trying to get me to share with you all. However, when it hit me, it's like it was something that I resonated deeply with. However, I could not explain it. Like I did not know how to articulate it. But it is a very deep and meaningful message. And as I was in my mind, overthinking how to deliver this to you all, because it hit my spirit, but again, I really couldn't explain it. And that happens to me a lot. A lot of the times, the Father just deposit things into me, and it's like, I got you. I understand exactly what you meant. I won't be able to tell other people or to articulate it in a way that they may understand it, but it fed my soul, or it healed my soul, or I felt it in my soul. So what I did was I went to Chat GTP, and I use chat for everything. I just do. I don't know how people are not using it. Um, it got me through a lot last year. Just with the simple like brain dumping. And again, I overthink so much, but I went into chat and I brain dumped everything that showed up as God had like was revealing this to me. And I was like, hey, I don't know how to articulate this. Like, here is everything, dump. none of it really makes sense because I'm everywhere. My mind is like kind of going everywhere. But could you just help me try to make sense of this, right? I need to articulate this, or I need to share this and be able to articulate it in a way that other people can actually understand what I'm saying. So without having like all of the meat, of the video, of the information, I just knew like what the end result was, right? And it's like, what about all of the extra stuff? And I wanted to ensure that I come and I show and I deliver the message that needed to be delivered. However, the message completely like out, where I understood it was not yet there. I am doing my best to just show up. That's all I'm required to do is just show up. So, it, what would have taken me quite a bit of overthinking, analyzing, procrastinating, waiting, doing it later, I decided to ask ChatGTP to help me articulate this. And when I read it, it just knew it was in my brain and it put everything together for me. So instead of me trying to just come here and just spill out what it said, I'm going to actually read to you what it was telling me. Because first, I was wanting to ensure that I had a deep understanding of why, why, and like what happened. And then, since I had a deep understanding of what and why, now I can express and explain it to you all. So instead of me trying to just kind of remember everything and like all of that, I'm simply just going to read what it typed out. Okay. And I can say, like, what I'm reading is how I'm feeling. I expressed all of this to it beforehand. Like, I sat there and I spilled out my guts about this download, and it was able to just put it in a way to where it articulated in a way that I believe will actually resonate with a lot of you. So, starting from the top, it says, Christina, this is such a powerful message, and it's clear that God is revealing deep truths to you. Let's go as deep as possible so you can fully grasp and articulate what's happening in your mind, how trauma has shaped it, and how God is restoring it to his original design. Going deeper, what's really happening in your mind? Your ability to overthink, analyze, and reflect isn't a flaw. It's a God-given strength that was reshaped by trauma. Imagine your mind like a beautifully designed instrument, let's say a piano. Originally, God tuned it to play in harmony with his will, full of wisdom, creativity, and discernment. But then life happened. Trauma, fear, instability, rejection, and survival mode took that perfectly tuned piano and twisted some of the strings. Now it still plays music, but the notes are distorted. It's not broken, but it's out of alignment. That's what happened to your thinking. Trauma trained your mind to overthink, to overprocess because it had to. You weren't just thinking, you were strategizing how to survive. You had to be hyper aware, overanalyze conversations, prepare for the worst, anticipate rejection before it came, and replay painful memories to avoid making the same mistakes. This wasn't random. This was your mind doing its God designed job to protect you. The shift, what God is revealing about your mind. Now that you're in a new season, healing, growing, stepping into purpose, you no longer need those trauma driven thought patterns. But because your mind was wired for survival, it's defaulting to what it knows. This is where mind renewal and mind healing come in. God isn't saying your mind is broken. He's saying, let's tune it back to my original frequency. Instead of overthinking to protect yourself, you will now strategize to build what God has called you to build. Instead of analyzing conversations to anticipate rejection, you will now analyze God's words for deep reflection, revelation. Instead of replaying the past to prevent pain, You will now use reflection to recognize growth and transformation. The very thing the enemy twisted, God is restoring. The science and spirituality of trauma in the mind. From a psychological standpoint, trauma creates neural pathways that become automatic through pattern. This is why you can think a certain way for years, even when your situation changes. Your brain is running old software. From a spiritual standpoint, the enemy loves to exploit trauma because it creates strongholds, false belief systems that shape how you see yourself, God, and the world. But God gave us the power to renew our minds, Romans 12:2, meaning we can rewrite those mental pathways. Mind healing is a spiritual and neurological process. You're rewiring your brain and breaking strongholds in the spirit. How to explain this in the video. Intro, why this matter and what God is revealing. For years, I thought I had a problem. I overthink. I analyze too much. I can't just let things go like other people do. But then God started showing me that my mind was never broken. It was just reshaped by trauma. I realized I wasn't overthinking for no reason. My mind was literally trained to analyze because it was trying to protect me. But now that I'm in a new season, those same survival skills are keeping me stuck. That's when I heard God say, your mind doesn't need to be fixed, it needs to be reset. What happened to your mind? Breaking down the survival mechanism. If you've ever been through trauma, especially ongoing trauma, you know that your mind doesn't get rest. It's always preparing for the next attack, the next letdown, the next abandonment. For me, that meant constantly replaying conversations, trying to figure out what went wrong. It meant analyzing people's body language, their tone, their words, because I needed to know if they were safe. It meant always being one step ahead because I couldn't afford to be caught off guard. An example, I remember times when someone would say something small and I obsessed over it for hours. Did they really mean something deeper? Were they secretly upset? What if I made a mistake and didn't realize it? I wasn't just being insecure. My brain was scanning for danger because that's what it was trained to do. What God revealed about my mind. God's original design. God started showing me something that changed everything. The enemy attacks what he's most threatened by. If my mind has been a battlefield, then that means there's something powerful about the way God originally designed it. I started asking, what if my ability to analyze, to see deeply, to reflect was never a flaw but a gift? What if the enemy spent all this time distorting my thoughts because he was trying to keep me from stepping into the way that God intended me to think? Reframing overthinking as a gift. What if my mind was meant to be a tool for strategy, wisdom, and revelation? What if I'm not overthinking, I'm discerning? I'm strategizing. I'm meant to think deeply. Instead of trying to fix my mind, I started asking God to reset it back to its original design. How you're resetting your mind. 3 steps to mind resetting. These are practical and spiritual. Recognizing survival mode. When I catch my thoughts spiraling, I stop and ask, is this survival mode or is this God's wisdom? I am preparing for something that isn't even happening. Am I tuning into the spirit? Surviving my thoughts, surrendering my thoughts to God. Every time my mind starts running in circles, I pray, God, I give you my mind, reset it to how you originally created it, redirecting my thoughts with redirecting my thoughts to my purpose. Now, instead of using my mind to overanalyze trauma, I use it to build, to strategize, to create. So it gave me a little bit more of like, feedbacks and all of that good stuff, but that's basically the meat of it. God is revealing to me that the thing that is slowing me down, the thing that is holding me up, the thing that I had to use in survival mode is actually the thing that I need in order to fulfill my purpose. How I think, because again, I'm in my mind a lot. And I don't want to say I'm in there too much because I feel like that's where I naturally need to be. However, I'm not being productive when I'm in my mind. So I feel like God is just revealing to me that it's not just about allowing Him to renew my mind or changing the mindset, which 2024 was always all about changing the mindset. But God is like, hold on. Even with the mindset, I need you to understand how to think purposefully, how to use this for my good, God's good, and be productive while I'm in my mind. The last video I did, I talked about how like I was out here in this physical world and I quickly realized this is not for me, right? Like the things that are going on in this physical world, like they are a manifestation of things that have already happened in the spiritual realm. This is why I'm so big on fighting in the spiritual realm, taking all my battles to the spiritual realm. When I am in the spirit, I'm in my mind. Like I have to go there in my mind. When I'm fighting, when I'm praying, deliverance, like all of that, I have to do that things in my mind. Like when you're going through deliverance, you have to think in your mind that you were set free before you were actually set free, right? It's like the faith that I have, that I utilize. All of this is in my mind, and God is saying that like don't reject that. Don't feel as though I don't need to be in my mind. He created me to be in my mind. However, I need to ensure that I'm allowing him to reset it to its original design, to where I'm able to now step into my calling and purpose on a whole nother level, where he's able to use me in a whole nother way. I don't have to worry about overthinking, over analyzing out of fear. I can do and I can be strategic with it to where it's like, hey, in business, let me figure this out. Let me go in my mind. Let me go in the spirit. I don't have to worry about the fear aspect of it. I'm going in there. I'm about my father's business. I'm going to figure this out righteously because that's how he built and created me. So yeah, I just wanted to come and share that with you all. Again, I just feel like I'm being led and called and pushed to like go out there and share more of the things that the Father has been putting on my heart. I'm also trying to journal a lot of this as well. And I think that I will be led to share a lot of those entries simply because something that I'm doing in the morning is I'm praying, I'm meditating, but I'm listening and I'm allowing God to speak to me about a specific question. So I'm getting very, very specific about the questions that I'm asking God, and then I'm recording myself of the download that I'm receiving. And I know that this is going to help me, but also it's going to help others. It's also going to sharpen my skill of practice of just listening. I feel like for the past at least 10 years, God for the past 18 years, it's literally been me and God. Like anytime I would try to attach myself to anyone, to any type of organization, to any type of church, to any type of pastor, to any type of whatever, God said no. Like he will not allow me to be with anyone because he needs to be the only one that I rely on. Everything that I've learned, everything that I've experienced, like everything is because of him. And with me being able to say that, because all of the knowledge and wisdom that I have, it came from, I can't give anybody else credit but him. And I understand that that is how he's going to continue to have me. Will there, probably be a community or something that I could attach myself with, but isolation is just a part of my life. God is like, hey, I need to ensure that it's you and me. I need to ensure that I can deposit things into you and you are hearing me clearly and you receive them. But I feel like for the past 10 years, God has been just speaking and giving me downloads, giving me instructions, like answering my questions, not just my prayers, but my direct questions. And now it's like I'm so confident with that that it's like, okay, 10 years, we've been doing this. And now it's like, he's like, okay, now we're going to do this. Now I'm going to allow you to speak. I'm going to allow the Holy Spirit to speak through you into others, if that makes sense. So it's been a lot of how I can say it and see it now. It's just practice of me building up my confidence of what God is telling me, the things that he told me like a long time ago and how it came to fruition and how like I know that God told me, God directed me, God instructed me. But now he's telling me to speak, which he told me this in 2020. Um and I felt like I spoke as much as I could, maybe. But now he's like, you already know what to do. Just do it at this point. Like, you can have it. It's yours. Just do what I've been telling you to do, right? And again, I felt like I was in an environment to where I could not be or do those things. And now that I'm outside of that environment, it's like, oh, now I'm free. Now I'm not in bondage. Like, now I can actually do these things and not have to worry about, trauma, fear, or whatever. So, yeah, this is me just showing up, y'all. No idea what's happening, what's going on. I'm just showing up, trying to be obedient, and just thankful and grateful just for the opportunity. This really truly is a blessing to be called, to be used by God in the capacity that He showed me that He's going to use me. So, like He said, now I just have to show up. So I'm going to ensure that I am showing up for you all, sharing what is being put into me. I'm at the point now to where I don't have to hold it. Like first I was in survival mode to where it's like, get me out. I can't help nobody else if I can help myself, right? But now it's like, okay, you're safe. Okay, let's go out here and help save others. Okay, so that is my goal and my mission, is to help sisters really confidently step into their God-given purpose. I feel like he's calling a lot of us to just like step up and step out, like do what it is that we were called and created to do. And I feel like it's becoming safer for us to do that. Some of you can feel that, some of you understands what that means, but I feel like there was just a lot of bondage on us to where we knew who we were. We knew the power we possessed, but the environment was just keeping us in bondage. But know that God is with us and God is saying, let's go. Let's go. So definitely be excited about everything that the Father has in store for you. Definitely be sure that you are prepared, that you are somehow, some way engaging in spiritual warfare because the enemy is going to be there. Ensure that you are fasting, praying. If you're comfortable with deliverance, definitely participate in that. Spiritual warfare for me is the key. It is the key because now it's like I'm with God. So I'm good on that part. Now I just have to fight the enemy, which I know is going to be there, right? Some people may be struggling with the God part. They're not there. They don't know their purpose. They don't have they don't have a relationship with God the way that they feel as though that they should have it. So they could be on that phase of just, hey, trying to get there with just God. But I'm like, okay, me and God, I've been rocking with him for like 18 years. And, for the past 10 years, it's just being me and him. So I feel like we're good. Last year he allowed me to like go out there in the world and hey, I'm back stronger than ever, dedicated to never go out there again. So spiritual warfare. Just ensure that you are ready. You know how to fight the enemy because the enemy is inevitable. He's going to show up. His goal is to still kill and destroy. You want to make sure that you have the wisdom, the knowledge, the confidence, the authority to fight against him. So I'm gonna stop there because I will start to ramble. I feel like I've been, isolated for a very long time and I haven't really talked and got to pour out anything. And now it's like I'm gonna pour out everything. But I'm gonna stop there. If you have any questions, put them in the comments below. If this resonated with you, like let me know if you're someone who overanalyze, who overthinks simply because of the environment that you are in. Let me know like how have you navigated or are you currently like navigating it? Like are you in a better environment to where you can say this is who I am and I can confidently step into that with boldness without fear? Like let us know in the comment section. I really do believe that it's going to take a lot of us encouraging each other, a lot of us sharing our testimony to come out of the bondage that the enemy has us under. But know that I'm here if you need me. Put a comment in the comment section if you have any questions. And I'll talk to you all later. Bye.